Yeah, 8:44. All right, Mr. Bababa. Give me just a minute to pull up the report, make sure everything is the same. All right, Mr. Bababa, you are charged with one count of kidnapping. Are you in cuffs, Mr. Bababa? Why are you in cuffs?
I believe the bailiff put him in cuffs.
Well, we can have the bailiff remove your cuffs. I mean, you've already been sent to prison and you're serving your time. You served your time and you're already fine. At this point, we're doing a trial to determine your guilt or innocence at this point. So imagine you want to be here since you pled not guilty to these charges. You want to be here more than anybody to see to be found not guilty. Okay, so yeah, no problem there. Apologize for that. There must have been a miscommunication. So again, you're still pleading not guilty to these, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, then we can go on and proceed with the trial at hand. We've had our pre-trial motions all satisfied, and we are ready to begin. We will open with the prosecution's opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Your Honor, fellow attorneys Santos. Today we are here to discuss the state's case against Mr. Bababa. In this case, we will discuss Ms. Bababa's kidnapping of Miss Mate, forcing her into a vehicle against her will, to then take officers on a dangerous chase through the city, not only putting himself and Miss Mate's life in danger, but also putting the officers and the citizens of this great state's life in danger. These actions show that Mr. Bababa does not deserve the rights to be a free man and needed to take his time in prison. As he's already served that time fine, we will not be seeking any further restitution, but we do seek that these charges stick within his record of the state to properly reflect the crimes that he has committed. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Understood. Thank you.
Tell him.
All right, Mr. Ramal, did you have a opening statement?
No, I do, yes.
Excellent.
Boo, you stink.
Your Honor, the courtroom. We're here today to listen to the prosecution attempt to paint a picture to cover up the charges that were wrongly placed upon my client. Today, the prosecution will attempt to make you think Mr. Bababa is a kidnapper, when in reality, he wanted to bring Miss Mate on a car ride, and the police escalated the situation and caused a car accident, allowing for not only my client and Miss Mate to be hurt, but Miss Mate's friends to get involved in a car chase that could have caused them and the people of this city to get hurt as well. We ask that the courts not allow for the prosecution to deceive them with a faulty narrative, but see past that and find the truth of the situation. Thank you.
Well put, Mr. Ramal. Thank you. All right. State's evidence to present towards the case.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would like to call Mr. Willis to the stand as our first witness.
Excuse
All
me,
right, Mr. Willis, are you able to move forward?
Forgive me, sir. This is my first time. Just stand here with him.
All the way up to the left.
You can come
Go
over
ahead.
here to the.
Okay.
He's got to drop him off, Your Honor. Apparently, our state does not have funding for wheelchairs.
Then
terrible.
I apologize for the inconvenience, and I do thank you for your time to come out here despite your injury.
May I stand
I
here?
try my
Should I run back
hardest.
to the...
Go on back. Go on back
Sure,
there. I
sure.
appreciate it. Yeah, well, you get situated there. Okay. Yeah, sometimes a little scared. They're perfect. All right. Are you comfortable? Everything?
I mean, much as I can be, I guess.
Okay. All right. So we're good to proceed. Excellent.
Yep.
All right. Mr. Cranton, as your witness.
Your Honor, I would ask that the witness be sworn in before I
Oh,
continue.
yeah, of course. Mr. Wilkes, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. We'll proceed.
Will you please state your name and occupation for the record to the court?
My name and occupation. Well, I am Mickey Wellets. I own Foundation Records, and I work at ADF part.
Okay. And were you there the night that Miss Mate was taken away from JDF?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What were you doing there?
I was standing in JDF talking to the people. I was with Atticus.
Okay. Did you
I believe Curtis Willis was also there, and Drew Underwood.
Okay. Did you witness Mr. Bababa drive up to JDF?
Yes.
Okay. Did you witness Mr. Bababa attempt to lure Miss Mate to his car?
Yes,
Objection,
by
Your
saying
Honor.
he had a surprise in his
Hold
trunk.
Hold on there, son. Grounds.
He's I think he could have said that more, I guess, generally. He kind of
Go on and
narrowed it
rephrase the
into-
question. I guess you want
Your
to
Honor, can I
object
rebuttal to it?
that it's argumentative. So let's just rephrase the question. You can give it another shot.
May I give a rebuttal, Your Honor?
Sure. What's that?
My rebuttal would be the fact that I'm simply asking him whether or not he witnessed something occur. And if he did not, then he did. If he did, he did. I'm not trying to be argumentative or anything like that. I'm just simply asking if he witnessed something occurring.
All right. Well, I mean, why don't we ask him what he witnessed?
Okay.
Right. So we're not asking him leading questions.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right.
So, Mr. Wellets,
Yeah.
while you were at JDF, what did you witness occur?
Well, she lured her in by saying there was a surprise in the trunk.
Could you use names, please, sir?
Bababa lured Delilah in by saying there was a surprise in the trunk. And then swiftly picked her up, got back in this car, and then drove off.
Okay. Did Miss Mate say anything when that occurred?
I think she screamed out.
Okay.
I don't know what she said, but it was, like obvious distress.
What occurred after she was put in the vehicle?
They drove away.
Okay.
And then I was in the passenger seat of a car, following from a safe distance, as the police officer, I don't know his name. It was a sheriff, I think.
Okay.
As the sheriff chased him down, it lasted a while until they ended up in I think, a car accident on a highway by I want to say the oil field, maybe like a little north of it or so, or a little up the road.
Okay. Did Mr. Bababas attempt to stop while the sheriff was chasing him?
No.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. This is great. Mr. Rahman, it's your witness.
All right. Good evening. How are you today?
I apologize. That is my fault. Give me just a moment. We are good to proceed.
All right. Hello, sir.
How
How
am
are you
I?
today? Yes.
Been better.
Yeah, I suppose I see that.
Yeah. How you doing?
No,
I'm all
you're
right.
not allowed to ask. You're not allowed to ask questions as a witness.
Either way. So you were at JDF that day. What were you doing there?
Literally just standing there waiting for customers to come.
No, I see you work there.
Yes, part time, as I stated in my occupation statement.
All right. I'm just, Are you? So this man you saw taking Miss Mate. Can you describe them?
Very oversized white button-up shirt, baggy white pants. Not sure about the shoes.
Your Honor, can we
large-
ask if the witness is speaking as loud as possible?
Are
I-
you?
I-
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you? Are you having trouble hearing him?
Yes, Your Honor. I just have people behind me talking. It makes it a little difficult.
Oh, actually, yes. Let's take this under account here. If anybody's being disruptive to this proceeding at the moment, you will be found in contempt. We're going to be sending you to jail. Mr. Figglehorn, I would ask that you please be courteous in these proceedings as a favor to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm. I apologize. For me as well, could we just re-ask that last question just so that I can get back into what was going on?
I was just asking for him to describe the person he saw on that day.
Oh, yeah, a large, oversized white shirt, baggy white pants. Not sure about the shoes, and a very loose-fitted mask that went around his neck, most of his face, the top of his head, kind of leaving his eyes exposed. It looked like a picnic, you know, like one of those things you put down as like white and red checkerboard.
All right. What did you see happen? Can you go into more detail about those?
Your Honor,
I mean,
objection.
Why?
Asked and answered, Your Honor. You already asked him
Oh,
what happened, and my client or the witness already described what occurred.
I'm just asking for him to go more in depth, Your Honor.
yeah, he was asking for more details, so I'll
I
allow
would
the.
ask that if he would like more details, Your Honor, he would need to ask specifically what details he would like to go more into.
Well, I'll also say that. I mean, again, if you're wanting to, if you have a course for the line of questioning, we'll sharpen down the question here. Do you have anything specific?
Mm-hmm. What were the actions taken by that person and Miss Mate?
Bababa said something along the lines of, "Hey, I have a surprise for you in my trunk." And then Miss Mate walked up, checked out the trunk, and then, as I said before, he picked her up swiftly and entered his vehicle and then drove out of the shop.
All right. How long have you known Miss Mate?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
For the witness to have, I mean, it's foundational, I would imagine, so I'll allow it.
I would argue that it wouldn't have anything to pertain to Miss Mate being kidnapped, Your Honor. Whether he knows it or whether he was at the location wouldn't matter for what he witnessed.
I mean, sure, I'll sustain it, and we'll go on without any sort of character analysis of the witness.
Oh, right. All right. So you said he picked up Miss Mate.
Yep.
Have you seen her picked up by people before?
Yeah.
Have you seen her
Your
picked
Honor,
up?
relevance again?
No, that sounds pretty relevant. So, I mean, you're saying it's not relevant because why?
We've all been picked up before, Your Honor, and I'm sure we've all been kidnapped before. Just because I've been picked up once doesn't mean that what's happening at a different time doesn't mean I'm getting kidnapped. It wouldn't be relevant to the fact that just because she got picked up before, it has no relevance to the case.
Well,
Sir, can you please not yell in my ear?
again, you've been warned, Mr. Finkelhorn. You just that's please leave the courtroom or receive some contempt. Thank you. Bye. If he does come back in, he's free to get a contempt charge. Thank you. All right. So real quick, Mr. Ramon, I understand you wanna provide a defense. And it seems like with these objections, I kind of see where you're going with the questioning. As far as that, I don't know if that. I mean, again, with the way Mr. Cranton is objecting and making his objection, it does make sense that it would not. Previous cases would not necessarily pertain to this situation at hand where he's been charged.
All right.
But I do understand that would be a way to approach it, but unfortunately, since
All right, that's fine.
Your Honor, if
Yeah.
I may, I can withdraw my objection to allow him to go with the line of questioning to then, if I feel it does not hold relevance to have that question.
reserve your objection. I would rather do that if we could, because I mean, I think
Understood, Your
there's There's
That's fine.
a good argument
I'll
for
move to
Mr.
something else. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll just move to something else. It's fine.
All right.
Did you witness any sort of aggressive altercation between them, other than, I mean, you saw him lift her, but was it aggressive in any way? I mean, he offered her a present.
I mean, it was a aggressive kidnap, I guess.
Was it? Okay, could you expand on that?
I feel like, I mean, it's kind of a candy van situation, saying that, you know, there's something, hey, come here, and then swooping them up. I feel like that's a little bit of an aggressive kidnapping.
I mean,
I didn't see any weapon involved, but there could have been a threat of violence that I didn't hear.
okay. So there was no weapon at all.
Not from my view, but there could have been.
Okay. And you didn't hear them yell at each other. How far away were you?
Oh, barely enough to hear the trunk portion of.
All right, but you could hear them at the vehicle, and all you heard was there's a present in the trunk.
Yeah, and then the scream.
All right. And would you consider Miss Maid a loud person?
I mean, yeah.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. And since we did open that line of questioning, we'll go on. And is there any recross from the prosecution for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Step right up.
Hello, Mr. Willets.
Hello.
Does there need to be a weapon for somebody to be able to walk up to you and kidnap you?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Willets. I rest my case. Or not my case, Your Honor. Sorry, I misspoke.
Understood.
Rest with this witness.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Willick, for your time and your honesty here. Do you need assistance
course.
getting back?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you wanted to oh, okay. Mr. Running will get you situated here. He's got firm hands.
Yeah, just hoist me up. Oh boy. Try again. So there we go.
Right.
You know, I wish I could walk.
Oaks. Atticus Oaks.
Okay,
Yeah.
any additional witnesses, Mr. Grant?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would like to call Mr. Atticus Oaks to the stand.
Understood. When he gets situated, we'll have him approach. All right, Mr. Running, could you could swear in our witness, please? Mr. Oaks, real quick. Oh, actually, you can step on up. Mr. Running is going to swear you in real quick.
Mr. Running, could you please make sure you're speaking loud enough for
Oh
us to
yeah,
hear?
I apologize. You'll put your hand on this book and repeat after me. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oaks. You may be seated. Mr. Grant, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well,
Oh,
let's give
a
him
moment.
just
Hey,
yes. Take your time. It's
my
a
witness
little-
is just wanting to hug the American flag, Your Honor. He really loves this
Yes, sir.
country.
Gotta pay my homage.
And if you just want to stand, that is also fine. However you would
I'll
like.
stand. That's fine. Yep, stand it
I
is.
wish I could
Okay.
stand.
A true patriot.
All right, Mr. Oaks, can you go ahead and state your full name and occupation for the court, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Atticus Theodore Oaks. I am the secretary for Foundation Records, and I am a mechanic at JDF Tuning.
Okay. And while working at JDF, were you working on the day that is in question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you there when the situation that is in question occurred?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what did you witness in that situation?
Well, I had witnessed Miss Fate and Mr. Bababa standing, not, they were distant, but they were standing near a vehicle. Me and Mr. Willets were standing beside each other, just offset to near a bay. I witnessed. I'm sorry, just to make sure you asked me what I witnessed, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I had witnessed. I was quite a bit distance away from them, so I only heard them from a distance, but I overheard Mr. Blah blah blah, sort of sweet talking Miss Mate into approaching the vehicle.
Can you elaborate on that, Mr. Oaks? Do you know exactly what he said?
I don't, but I could, it was more so his demeanor, I guess, if that makes sense. I guess I just attributed it to sweet talking.
Okay.
More so persuading, I guess.
So you're saying that Mr. Bababa attempted to persuade Miss Mates over to the vehicle. What
Correct.
occurred after that?
At that point, during all this, I was a little, distracted by the different customer, but I witnessed Miss Mates be thrown into the trunk, and then they took off. They drove away.
Okay. Were you in the vehicle that followed Mr. Mates?
Yes, I was the driver.
Okay, you were the driver. And did you see the vehicle attempt to stop at any time to give up to the officers?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you witness the end of the chase?
Yes, sir.
And what occurred then?
We continued up to, I believe it was East Sustancia, at which point I believe it was the sheriff pitted Mr. Bababa. The vehicle came to a stop. I think this was a while ago, so forgive me, but I believe Mr. Bababa got out of the vehicle and attempted to run towards the officer. But beyond that, I believe he got tased and the arrest ensued.
Okay, so when the vehicle was stopped, Mr. Bababa did not give himself up, but instead began running at the officer.
Correct.
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Um.
Charge of kidnapping, not
Yeah.
evasion.
All right. Yeah, we'll go on and move on to another line of questioning for that one, and I'll sustain it.
Understood, Yana. I have no further questions for the witness, Yana.
Okay. Mr. Ramon, your witness.
All right, sir. So you said you saw the, you were at JDF. You saw the interaction.
Correct.
And at any point did you hear any yelling? You didn't hear him threaten her in any way?
I did not hear any
You actually
threats.
said it was sweet talking, if I'm correct.
I retracted that. I believe I said persuading.
Persuading. All right.
Rephrased.
All right. It was still nice tones. It was.
That was what I gathered.
I believe you'd said it was both. That was said. Don't think you retracted, but you had modified it with
forget
persuading.
it.
But that's fine.
Misspoke.
No, just making sure we're on the right path. All right, keep going.
As far as I did not hear any threats or anything like that. But I did hear Miss Mates yell as she was thrown into the trunk.
Okay. And have you ever seen Miss Mate ride in a trunk before?
I mean, yes, but only
Your
due
Honor,
to
objection,
seats being.
relevance.
I mean, it's again we objected. Oh, that's right, but we didn't move into that questioning. So, but again, since
Yeah, and I
the
don't
bench
see how
since the
riding in a trunk
bench
could,
well since the bench has to kind of establish the credibility on this, I'm going to listen to it, and then again, you can once the questioning's over, we can object again if we want to. Continue, Mr. Ramon.
All right. And did you hear what they were saying to each other at all?
I did not.
Okay.
They're too
Oh,
too far away.
All right. So you saw him put her in a trunk and them leave.
Correct.
All right. And after that, All right. I have no further questions.
All right. So again, did you want to list your objection to any of the questioning?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Any recross for anything that
No,
was
Your
opened
Honor.
again? All right. Thank you, Mr. Oaks. You may step down.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate
Your
your
Honor, the
time.
state would like to motion for a 10-minute recess. Just received a text message from the arresting officer who said that he is on his way now.
Okay, I actually have something to do, so that will grant that 10-minute recess, and I'll be right here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know where my bailiff went, but Mr. Collins, step on up here. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. All right, go on. Step on up here. All right. You're a witness, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Collins, can you please state your name, badge number, rank, and that would be all actually for the court.
Back then I was 262 deputy of LSSD.
Okay, and your name?
Stefano Collins.
Okay, and were you the responding officer to the incident in question?
Yes, I was.
Okay, would you mind reading, Your Honor, may I have him read the report to the court?
It's fine. Yeah, we'll get it on the record.
Would you please go ahead and read the report that you wrote based off of that incident?
Yes, I will. All right. So, I was at the JDF when Mr. Barbara asked Mr. Lila to come to the vehicle when he processed to kidnap the person. Then I have received 911 call from her, and I was following to the location when I couldn't find them because the vehicle was on the move. I have searched the area when I spotted the vehicle and got into the chase with the vehicle when two cars joined who were friends of Delilah. After a while of the chase, the person gave up, put the kidnapped person down, and proceeded to give up. Miss Delilah was injured. At the point, there was no EMS around there. Her friends took her to the hospital. I have warned her friends they should have not chased someone when police is involved, as they obstruct justice and should not be vigilantes. Afterwards, I have taken the person to MRPD where he was fingerprinted and processed. There are 3 witnesses, not including the kidnapped person on the scene.
Your Honor, I would like to bring to the court's attention the evidence exhibit of the 911 calls from Ms. Delilah Mate and the response from the dispatch, and have that entered in.
Any objection from the defense? Any objection from the defense? For those, you should be able
Mr.
to see
Ramon?
those,
Yeah,
correct, Mr. Ramon?
Yeah, no objection.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me just
oh,
one
sorry.
moment. Let me follow up. Make sure that. There's a lot in this record, Mr. Cranton, but I found it. All right. And which exhibits are it? There
There are looks like 6 exhibits, Your Honor. First one being the report, second one being the 911 calls, third one being the DNA swab of Mr. Ali, and then the last 3 being that of the vehicle.
And you're entering the 911 calls, right?
Yes, Your Honor, as long as
All right.
as well as the report.
I'm sorry.
All right.
The last picture is the picture of Delilah when she was actually injured.
Oh, yes, I stand corrected, Your Honor.
So noted. All right. Continue. No objections.
Thank you very much. And then, okay, so you pursued Mr. Bababa, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you lose sight of the vehicle during the pursuit?
At one moment, yes.
When was that moment?
The moment I have arrived on the first seat,
Okay.
where
And
I
then
received the 911 call.
was that, did she then 911 afterwards and you found him again, correct?
No, she couldn't 911 anymore because she was probably injured at that very moment.
How'd you find the vehicle again?
Since the person was kidnapped, I am taking my job very seriously. I was the only officer on duty, so I proceed to search the overall area of Los Santos when I saw the same vehicle again.
The same vehicle. Okay. And while you were pursuing the vehicle on that second time, did you lose sight on it?
No,
Okay. When the vehicle crashed out, did you lose sight of the suspect?
no.
Okay. When you placed Mr. Bababa in cuffs, did you ever lose custody of him from that point?
No.
Okay. So you had custody of Mr. Bababa all the way from the crash until you fingerprinted him, correct?
That's correct.
What did the fingerprint come back as?
Mr. Ali Ababa.
Okay. And did you talk to Miss Mate after the incident?
Miss Delilah?
Yes.
At that moment, no.
You did not talk to Miss Mate after the incident?
No, I did not.
Okay. 1 second, Yana. Sorry.
All right.
Okay. Did you question Mr. Bababa? Officer Collins? Hello? Can you hear me?
Officer Collins, you with us?
Uh,
The question was, oh gosh,
I
just
asked
blanked on over here,
Officer
but yeah.
Collins if
Yeah.
he had questioned Mr. Bababa.
at that very moment, it was a few days ago, but I believe I had asked him a few questions.
Do you remember what those
but
questions were?
not exactly at this moment. It was a few days ago,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
I have read his rights before I questioned him.
Okay. So, you were at JDF. You saw Miss Mate get taken. You weren't able to find the vehicle after that. You received a 911 call saying that she was being kidnapped. You found the vehicle.
Yes.
You chased the vehicle. The vehicle crashed. You took him into custody. Transported him. Did you get him medical aid?
I asked for a medical. There
Okay.
was no. He didn't need a medical at that moment.
You didn't need medical?
No.
Okay. You took him, got him fingerprint processed, and sent him off his way for kidnapping, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like to bring to the state's attention the photos of the crash scene that Mr. Officer Collins had discussed, along with the photo of Miss Mate being injured.
Are there objections from the defendants?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance to all of those. Nothing to do with
That would be my question, Mr. Granton. Why are these
It
relevant?
shows the ending of the kidnapping and retrieving Miss Mate afterwards. The fact that at that time, as the defense has stated in the opening statement, he was just trying to show her, be friendly with her, but yet his supposed friendly actions ended in her being injured and making 911 calls being kidnapped. And the photos show her being injured along with the vehicle and how it was distressed and not stopped.
I would say that since you've been so hard to try to, limit the characterization of witnesses, then I'll also limit your ability to produce characterization for the respondent. So I'm going to go on and
I'm not trying
sustain
to
that.
limit the characterization of witnesses. I'm trying to make sure that everything stays pointed onto the subject, and this evidence is
And
pointed
this
onto the subject.
You didn't charge her with any sort of negligence, criminal negligence for the pursuit, the evasion, or anything like that. We're only dealing with a kidnapping, and that is the forceful movement of one person from one place to another.
And this is showing where that other place was, Your Honor.
All right. Fine. We'll allow the picture. Let's see. The vehicle, and then this is the picture of Miss May is where she was found, or was she moved from
This
that
is where the
location?
car crash was, Your Honor.
All
Where
right.
Miss
And
May was injured.
she was injured. She was down right there, or she moved.
No. So she was injured beforehand.
Where was she injured at?
She was injured on Wabi-Sabi area.
During the chase.
I mean, it doesn't matter where it ends. It's one place to another. So I'm going to go on and sustain Mr. Vermont's objection. We won't be entering those into evidence, or there won't be court will not be considering those photos again because as they do not apply to the charge at hand. Continue.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Cross-examine from you, Mr. Rahman.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Collins. So as my first question is, how much do you work on duty? Do you put in a lot of time?
Well, I'm quite busy.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
I would say in
His
showing how much
experience.
yeah.
I mean, well,
I can change my question if you'd like, Your Honor.
what do you? Let's rephrase and let's see what we got.
All right. Have you been to a lot of kidnapping calls, Mr. Collins?
Oh, around 100 of them.
All right. So you would say you're a pretty expert witness when it comes to kidnapping calls.
That's correct. 7.5 months in a police force.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for your service in the police force. Now, you were at JDF, correct?
That's correct.
And did you see this interaction between Miss Mate and Mr. Bababa?
That's correct.
All right. And did they say anything to each other? Did you hear them?
I heard the whole conversation.
All right. And what was that conversation?
Miss Bababa asked Mr. Lila to check something in his car. After she checked in his car, he jumped into the vehicle and started to drive off while she was screaming, "I'm being kidnapped."
All right. And so you're saying that he got in the car after she got into the trunk?
I don't know exact place where she got, but as she got into the car, she
All right.
started
Yes. She
screaming
got into
when
the
he
car
got.
with him.
That's correct.
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered.
I'll sustain that one.
All right. Sorry. Just clarification.
No, I understand.
All right. And you saw that. Why didn't you step in there?
I have tried to, but my vehicle was broken down at that moment.
All right. So seeing her get into a vehicle with him, that was, you wanted to chase them, but you couldn't?
I could not at all remember, no.
All right. Now, at these kidnapping calls that you've seen hundreds of, what's consistent there? What happens every time?
What happens every time? Most of the time, the person does get injured. It depends really on the situation, because if it's a store robbery, bank robbery, or any kind of robbery, most of the time the hostage gets out safely due to reason of us having a direct communication with the hostage and the person who's kidnapping. But at this very moment, I did not have a direct communication with the person who's being kidnapped. When it happens to us, the person is actually kidnapped without a situation of being a hostage. Most of the time, we found them injured, taken to Mount Zona.
All right. Okay. One moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Can you guys take it outside?
Mr. Collins, would you have called that interaction of her getting in the vehicle with him as a kidnapping then, or was it only a kidnapping once a 911 call came in that said it was?
Objection, Your Honor. You already said that he saw it as a kidnapping.
I think he's trying to define at the point at which time it is considered one. I'm going to allow this. Let's
Then can I ask
answer
for
the
it to
question,
be
please.
rephrased because the question is quite confusing.
Mr. Rahman, could you rephrase your question as
Sure,
simple as possible?
Sure. Did you see it as a kidnapping at JDF, or was it a kidnapping once the 911 call came in that said she was being kidnapped?
as I said before, she has screamed at JDF when he took off that she's being kidnapped. So I have seen it as kidnapping at the JDF.
All right.
All right. All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. All right. Since that did open up so many new line of questioning, is there any recross from you, Mr.
Yes,
Grant?
Your Honor.
Okay. I'm on it.
Officer Collins, did Mr. Bababa put Miss Mate in the vehicle, or did she get in the vehicle?
Objection
Shh.
asked and answered.
That
Uh,
is
Your Honor, when during the testimony, I have a client that says that she was put in the vehicle by Mr. Bababa, and I believe Mr. Collins may have misspoke, and I would like to clarify. That is the point of my recross, Your Honor.
that I'm sorry, what did he say before that you're saying that he said?
So I have testimony from witnesses that say that Mr. Bababa put her in the vehicle, and I believe that during the cross-examination, it was misconstrued that Officer Collins was stating that she got into the vehicle, and I'm clarifying that as part
Oh,
of my
as far as
recross.
okay. Um, let's clarify it then. So I'll
So I've-
overrule it, and let's go on and answer the question. Mr. Collins.
Officer Collins, did you see Mr. Bababa put her into the vehicle, or did she get into the vehicle?
So from personally going here from what I was hearing at the scene, because I was facing one of the JDF employees who was Mr.
Just to answer the question, don't provide any additional information. Just answer the question.
No, I have not seen him put it in the vehicle.
Okay, so you didn't see.
No,
you didn't
I was
see her
only
get
hearing.
into the vehicle or
Objection
him put
asked
her
and
in the vehicle.
answered.
Yeah.
No.
Your Honor, I had not asked that question before.
You
Was it not
you
the
asked
same
it
one?
twice.
No, I asked which one he saw, and then he just stated that he did not see anything. So I'm making sure that is clarified for the court that the officer's back was turned to the vehicle at the time.
All right. Well, let's. Okay.
Objection
you were-
confusing.
Yeah. Can you rephrase the question? Start again, Mr. Cranton.
Yes, Your Honor. Were you facing the vehicle when Miss Mate was put into the vehicle?
No.
So you did not see Miss Mate get
That
into
is
the
asked
vehicle.
and answered. Okay. Let's
Okay.
go on.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any more witnesses from the prosecution? Did you want to submit any other evidence that is currently in the record that is not objected to or
I
considered?
do not have any more witnesses, Your Honor, but I do have one more piece of evidence I would like to submit to the court.
All right. What are you submitting?
I would like to submit the affidavit that was agreed upon prior, Your Honor,
Understood. All right.
with the original first paragraph.
Very well. Any objections at this point, Mr. Rahman, for this entry? I didn't hear if you had anything.
No.
Okay. All right. So
Wait, hold on. I have a text from that night. From,
I can't bring
Delilah.
that into the court now.
You can't bring it. Oh, man.
No. If you
All
told
right.
me prior, then I could have submitted that.
all right. Well, I mean, we're here to find facts, but at the same time,
I mean, if you
There's
willing to
the
let me
entering-
bring it into court, Your Honor,
entering-
I'd gladly do it.
entering evidence has to go through the discovery process. So, it would be something that we'd need to submit, review, and then have a hearing on. Do we think, Mr. Cranton, do you think that at this point you need to have a hearing to add this evidence into this case
No,
for
Your
your
Honor.
argument? Okay, then we can move on. All right, let me read the statement, the first paragraph that was agreed to enter this into the record. The first time, this is a sworn affidavit from Miss Mate, and it states, the first time I was kidnapped by what's his name at JDF, he told me he wanted to show me something in the trunk of his car. I then walked over and he picked me up Carey, jumped in the car and drove off, kidnapping me. He drove around for 5 minutes before I attempted to escape. As I ran, he came up and punching me, knocking me to the ground. He then picked me up and continued to drive away till the police came and saved me. Quote unquote on the save me. All right. So that is a statement from the victim as well. Was there any? Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Collins. I did not dismiss you. I appreciate you staying there and being so patient, Mr. Collins. You can step down. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, no worries. Thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you for your time. So yes, so entered. Any other evidence that you needed to submit, Ms. Cranton?
No, Your Honor. The state would like to try to call Mr. Bababa to the stand.
Was-
He will be pleading the fifth, Your Honor.
That's fine, and no problem there. All right. We will, Mr. Ramon. Any evidence, any witnesses that you need to discuss? Did you need to recall any witnesses that were previously?
I don't need any of that. I would just like maybe a 5-minute recess to put a dot my I's and cross my T's.
You got it. I can grant that. No problem. Come on. Your floor.
All right. I have nothing to bring forward. I am ready to move to closing statements, Your Honor.
All right. With that, we'll let Mr. Cranton, if you need to present anything else for your closing statement.
Just the closing statement, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, today the state feels that we have sufficiently proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Bababa is guilty of the crime of kidnapping Miss May. The defense attempted to dissuade the public and Your Honor into believing that Mr. Bababa was simply trying to be friendly to Miss May. But through the 911 call from Miss Mate, the screaming of Miss Mate, the officer attempting to get Miss Mate back, and the multiple witnesses that came forward to speak on the situation that occurred, the state feels that there has been sufficient evidence to show that this was not the case. That Mr. Bababa was simply trying to kidnap her to take her to another location to do Lord knows what we know. During that incident, Miss Mate was injured, and there were multiple lives put in danger, and Mr. Bababa should have to pay the price for that and keep this on his record. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Your Honor, we have seen today that the prosecution is attempting to pull together a case that has a charge wrongfully placed from the start. I believe the prosecution should have taken our original offer of settling on a reckless endangerment charge, which would have been the correct charge for this instance. This would be befitting of a man who brought Miss May for a car ride and turned south and became a car accident, but instead they charged her with kidnapping because of a wrongfully placed 911 phone call. We hope the courts will see past this and find my client not guilty of the charge of kidnapping, because I believe there is plenty of reasonable doubt in place. Thank you. I rest.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ramon. Okay. So I want to thank both sides for incredible arguments today. And when we look at the letter of kidnapping, any person who abducts another person against their will by the use of force, intimidation, or violence, and brings that person to another location. So, with that, I feel that through all this, we found the facts. I understand that Mr. Bababa, you may have friendly.
Yes, of course, I'll take it right off.
You may be friendly and familiar with someone at some point, but the letter of the law is against their will. So, Miss Mates, yeah. Miss Mate's statement does state that she felt, in her words, kidnapped. So again, she did not feel comfortable with the situation, even though you may have thought that that was, what your intent was.
What the fuck?
Thank you. Again, it's even I understand that, and Mr. Rahman made an incredible argument despite all the the adversary going up against Mr. Cranton here, to make the argument, and the court did consider that. I wanted you to know that I mean, sometimes people scoop me up sometimes and take me somewhere, and I'm usually okay with it sometimes if I'm known not going to get hurt. But if someone's going to say no, I was afraid for my life, or I did not want to be moved by this person, that's going to fall under kidnapping. So with that, the court's going to find you guilty of the kidnapping. However, it's a 40-month charge and $4,000. And what we're going to do is, since you've already served this time, the court's going to award you a reduction in that fine for you. We're going to cut it in half, 50%, and we'll award you $2,000 restitution in your fines for coming to court today and defending, and again with Mr. Vermont putting up a good defense for you here. With that should settle the matter before the court, and the court is adjourned. And Mr. Bababa, come up and see me, and we'll get your restitution settled. Thank you again to